I'm going to leave the camera like this for a while. We're about ready to start. You can go see the other video if you want to see the unboxing and the basic setup. We have one thing left to do. I have blue, yellow, red. And so we're going to have blue be the first player and go in this order. So in reverse order, they get to choose a resource to go ahead and place. So looking up here, there's a lot of wood and a lot of brick. So they're going to take the brick. So they go on to the space where it costs 2 coins. Now, when you fill up the board normally, you always go in the left to right, cheapest slots, free, 1 coin, and then 2 coin. And you can have as many players and single player color pieces here as you want. If all this is full, there's no limit, but only 1 per square. So they're going to go there. So yellow will jump on that, and blue, there's not a whole lot of the stone out there at the moment. There's a few, but there is some of the crystals. So they're going to do that. And that's all for the basic setup of the game. Now blue gets to go first. So what are they going to do? Well, they definitely need some wood, so they're going to play this card, which means they can either go to the wood space, that's the only choice they have, or they can take the leftmost building card and put it in front of them. Then they would have to pay money according to the chart down here if they wanted one of the other ones. But they're going to use that to go to the wood, so they go to the first free spot in the woods, which is free since they didn't have any money. This will stay in front of them. They have to retrieve their cards later if they want to play them again. So now it's over to the yellow player. They already have some wood. They are going to actually play this fella. And if you notice, he can go to the first 2 cards for free. And that is what the yellow player wants to do. They want to use the ability to take this card for free. It only requires 2 wood. I'm going to go ahead and set it in front of them. You can have 2 of these in your hand at one time, unbuilt. If you ever draw a third, you have to take one of them and stick it on the bottom. Since you would know what it is without looking at it, having flipped it, you would have to stick it on the bottom. But we don't have to worry about that. These will slide down the market and then fill up from here. Now over to the red player, and you can see this game can go rather quickly. Now they see this card only needs a stone. So they are going to play this card. They can go to get some wood, some stone, or some brick or some stone, and they're going to go over to the stone while it is still free. So there we go. Now it's back to the blue player. So you can see this game can go rather quick if everyone knows what they're wanting to do. Now they see there is a brick spot still open. Let's get on that so they can have some free brick. Oops, sorry, that goes there. Over to the yellow. Now they need wood, but they also need money. They don't have money. So they're going to go ahead and play this card and use its ability to get money. So 1, 2, 3. You can never have more than 5 money, and that will just sit in front of them until they need to use it. Over to the red player. They are going to, before anyone else can occupy it, they're going to block this space, which is what we wanted to do on our next turn. So they did block us. If you're talking about the blue player. So now, what is the blue player going to do? They have wood, brick. There we go. So here they can take one of the first 4 cards for free. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will place this in front of them. over to the yellow player, and they will play this to go get some wood, and this will go on the first available least expensive spot. So the free spot is taken, then it's 1 coin, 1 coin, 2 coins, so it will go here. So they simply have to pay 1 coin. Now since this has never been flipped over, you can just set it back on top of the deck. And oops, before I do that, I forgot to fill up this at the end of the blue's turn. Now this will go on top. There we go. So now they have that taken care of. So over to the red player. Now what are they going to do? Well, they definitely need some money, and they only have 1 card that has money on it. So they will take 1 money. So over to the blue player, and they need some money, so they will play their last card to acquire 2 money. We'll just set that there for them. Over to the yellow player, and now they have 1 card left, but all this does is get money, gather 1 of these resources, or get 1 of these cards for the listed value price. They're not doing that. They're going to do the other possible action, which is to build. So they simply take the card and place it. Now, this side doesn't have buildings, it has a path. So these little houses don't line up. If you notice, this one down here at the bottom does, but then the other house has a road running through it. So that won't work. Of course, it cannot go on top, nothing goes above it. So it must go below it. So it will go there. We must pay the cost. 2 wood. Well, to do that, I'll bring the board over closer real quick. Here is a guy in the woods, and here is a guy in the woods. By bringing each one of them back, they bring me 1 wood. And that will pay for the cost of this card. Now we place a player there. We immediately get whatever benefit is in this corner. You only get the icon bonus for the card just played, which is the fleur de lis. So we grab the top card, is the tax collector, and with this you are going to pay, you gain a coin. Every time a player has to pay money to the bank for any reason, you get to get a free money, as long as you have this in front of you. And if you have it in front of you at the end of the game, you get 2 points. So we're going to set that there so that they know, I'm running out of space already, so that they know they have a special ability. And under that is a stone, so they place 1 of their characters over on the stone, on the cheapest valued stone space, without paying the cost. Then they move to any orthogonally adjacent spaces, and oh look, they get 1 resource of their choosing. That is what this symbol is. 1 of their choice. After a quick look at the board, they see here's a building that only needs 1 brick and 1 stone, and they could get another guild leader card. So why not go over here to the brick, they already have the stone, with their free resource that they do not have to pay for, and go there. So that was a pretty great turn for the yellow player. Over to the red, they have 3 resources. They only have 1 coin. They have the stone, the brick, and the crystal. And the card that they really wanted is gone. So let's see. They're going to go ahead and play this just to take the first card, put it into their inventory for free. These will slide down. Let's move it all up just a little bit. All right. And I forgot to put another card out earlier. There we go. Back over to the blue player. They have no cards in their hand. When all 4 cards are played, you get to retrieve them for free. If, for instance, he wanted to play one of these cards, wanted to retrieve these, he has to pay for the card that he has in his hand. That would cost 1 gold. But in this case, he gets all 4 back and immediately gets to play one for free. So, what is he going to do? He still needs that stone. So, let's go with this card to go to the stone, and that will cost 1 coin right back on top of the deck over to the yellow player. They really want to get that 3rd space card, and the last card they have, look at that, 1, 2, 3, any of the first 3 for free. Grab that, set it in front of them, these slide down, there we are, over to the red player, and they immediately get to retrieve their 4 cards. Now, what are they going to do? Well, they need a wood for this, and there is a card out there. They could go ahead and get that, but they don't think anyone else is going to beat them to that, because we already have one that's the same. A brick, a stone, and a crystal. So they're going to hold off, not get that, and instead they want to go get some wood. They will play that card, place a worker in the forest, and pay to send that worker there. Now it'll be the blue player's turn. I'm going to take the camera down and get it closer, just so that maybe everything can be seen. Do that a few rounds, let you see the icons a little better. I'm hoping this will work at least for a few turns so that you can see the pretty artwork, see the symbols on the cards, and see that it's all very legible. This symbol is victory points. So at the end of the game, if you own this card, you'll be worth 3 victory points, plus 1 point for every building that you have that has the diamond symbol on it. So we'll get into that stuff at the end of the game. So it's blue player's turn. He needs 1 brick, 1 stone, 1 crystal. So if I can slide this camera right over here and show you on the board here, 1 brick, 1 stone, 1 crystal. By removing them off the board, I produce those goods, and then he can place this right up here at the top of the board. Now, he will get the next green guild master, the fleur de lure, sorry, can't speak, can't say that, and a free wood. So, the ghost of the lovely spinster. All worker cards allow you to obtain 3 coins. And she's worth 4 victory points if you own her at the end of the game. So no matter which worker now will give you 3 coins as long as he has that in front of him. And I'm running out of space already. And then, of course, 1 free resource of his choosing. So, first off, a worker goes there for ownership. Over here, 1 free wood worker. And then, let's just do the brick to keep anyone else from getting there. I know it's mean, it's rude, and maybe a waste of money when he could have gone over here, but there we go. And it's over to the yellow player, who only needs a brick and a stone. They have a brick and a stone. So they will build this card. Now this one has a road to the right. So let's take a closer look at the map and see what they're going to do. This is the building they just built. And what are they going to do? Well, there's no road here to match. There's no road here to match. And this needs a road, so the only place it can go is here. If you notice, when you line it up, those buildings are complete. So I guess they'd have to go through a little alley to get there until we build out further this way. But they have completed that. And hopefully I left a note. I accidentally, brick and a stone, took it from the wrong place. So I will, take these two off. There we go. Now, back to what we were doing. We will place one of the yellow workers there for ownership. This symbol means to move, which unfortunately they no longer have any workers. They cannot move one of their resource workers to another resource for free. So they don't get that, but they do get the top blue guild leader. There we go. He's worth 4 points at the end of the game if you own him. And while you own him, you can place your worker out to gather a resource for 1 less coin. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty powerful. And yes, he can have 2 now. So now he has both of these. Does not get another one for this. You only get the resource or small icon for adjacent, but you get both for the one that you place. And so that is it for the yellow player's turn. And real quickly, here's what the board looks like now. I accidentally moved this guy to the wrong spot, so he is there. And the yellow player has no pieces, but the move icon simply means if you had a person here, you can move it here, or up here, or down here. You just move it to the least expensive place of wherever you want, if you choose to. Sorry about the glare. I got most of the glare blocked, but we are over to the red player's turn. He would like to build this: wood, brick, stone. Wood, brick, stone. We'll immediately get a crystal, so let's go ahead and do that while we are here. And the Rooster Guild card is worth 2 points at the end of the game if you own it. And we'll get into how you can steal some from people later. But this simply means that once on your turn, you can, if you have a building in your hand, swap it for free with one that's up in the market and take another one. That's all that is. He will hold on to that. Let's go up to the city and build. We are into a similar situation. We could go here, and it doesn't matter that that road would go there. And then he could get a free resource. Now this would not let him move a player because there is no road connecting these, so they do not get to share their benefit. If he wanted to do that, though, he could go here and leave this path up there for future. But do they just want a free resource? Or they could go here even, because these buildings complete and this path will complete and get a free wood, which wouldn't be bad. Let's go ahead and do that. But they just saw this yellow player is going to get points for cards adjacent. They don't want to give them free points. They'll just take a free resource here. So red player will go here. We have already given them the rooster card. We have already given them a crystal. Now they get a free resource of their choosing. So let's get, there's a lot of brick and wood out there. Let's go ahead and do the wood because there's only one free space available there. And that is the end of red player's turn. Now that we're going into the game, and I've zoomed in and showed some close-up, zoom back out even farther so that maybe I have enough space for everything. Back to the blue player, and the first thing they're going to do is use this ability. This card normally gives you no coins, but now will net us 3 for a total of 4 here with the blue player. Over to the yellow, they have no cards in hand, so they will retrieve all of those cards. They have no resources, but they can pay 1 less. But before they do, they are going to snag up the free stone spot before anyone else can. Over to the red player, they will get 3 coins because they have none currently. Back over to the blue player, and you can see this game is starting to really roll right along. 2 wood and a brick, and that is not quite what they want, so they will play this card to go after a crystal and pay the 1 gold cost over to the yellow player. They are looking at having no resources, so before everything fills up, they will get a brick that will cost them 1 less. Oh, this guy, I'm sorry, the blue player just paid a coin, so he will receive a coin with the tax collector. I may have missed that another time, and if I did, I'm sorry. I'm not going to worry about going back for that right now. The red player, 2 crystals and a wood. They need another wood, so unfortunately they will have to pay big time. And they will go here, where that will cost them 2 coins. If anyone else wants to get wood, they can go here in this top corner, and as many pieces that want to go here can for a cost of 2. Back to the blue player, and they have, I believe, they still don't have exactly what they want and need, but they will go after brick, for 1 coin. Over to the yellow player. They are going to keep getting the free resources while they can, or the cheaper, but in this case it is free because they are going here for, do they need a crystal right now? Everything needs crystal, so they're going to change their plan and go there and pay 1 coin instead of 2. And this player paid again. I'm sorry, and they paid. Wow, I really need to pay attention to this tax collector. It does say that each time another player has to pay coins, you gain 1. Now, we can be gamey and say they didn't pay coins, they paid a coin. But when they pay a coin, you get a coin because you can only max out at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, so they're almost maxed out anyway. I'm playing it that way. Someone let me know in the comments if I'm playing it wrong. Do you only get a coin if they pay more than 1? Or if they pay 1, do you get 1? Either way, I'm playing it that way for this for now. And so it's to the yellow player. They paid to get on the crystal space. Over to the red player. They have 2 wood, 2 crystal. So they are going to snag up. They can get one of the first 3 cards for free. They will take this second card, place it there. These slide, and a new building comes out. And the blue player is a little upset. They really wanted to get that card, but they waited too long. Their 4 cards come back. So what are they going to do now? Well, let's get that second card up there. That looks pretty good for them. New building comes out. There we go. Oh, we're getting some little park areas with trees. Yellow player. They're going to keep continuing what they were doing. They will go to the woods and pay 1 coin for that instead of 2 using their discount. The red player retrieves all of their cards. Now what are they going to do? Well, I think they're actually going to use this turn to build a building. Now do they want to... First let's pay for it. 2 wood. 1, 2. and a crystal, and you always must pay with the least expensive first to leave that space open for other people. You cannot pick and choose where you go from. Immediately grab a coin. Immediately grab the blue mask. And that is this one. Human Resources Manager. And look, he's got a whip. That does not look very friendly. Ouch. He is worth 5 points at the end of the game if you own him. And all worker cards allow you to obtain any resource. So that's pretty powerful as well. So now, where are they going to place this? We need a worker. Do they want to move one of their workers? Do they want to get a free stone? That might not be bad. Here they could get a free wood. Not a lot of wood. Well, there is some wood and there's some stone. But there's more cheap stone for them. So they are going to, now that they have this, they can use even a cheap card to get stone. So they're going to go here. I think that's what they're going to do. They really hate to help out the yellow guy, but they're going to go there, which means now they can move up to this adjacent through the road, adjacent card to get wood, and go on to the least expensive space for free. That is the red player's turn. Back to the blue player, who is now ready to build themselves. Do they want a coin? Or do they want a stone? Well, they only have 2 coins, but they can get coins easy, so they will go for the stone. Although that is helping out the yellow player again. So first, no, they're going to hurt themselves a little bit, but that's okay. Both of the green cards deal with money, so we'll get to that in just a moment. First, they can move one of their, we got to pay, sorry. 2 brick and a crystal. Now they can move one of their pieces to another resource if they want. Looking out on the board, we need a lot of crystal, so they're going to move this guy right over there. Then, that's what this symbol means. Let me zoom in on that for you. I know it's hard to see way down there. Any resource move. See the little arrow? So he moved one of his resources over to the least expensive space. And let me double check. In the rule book, really quick, right here, you may move one of your workers already placed on the resource board to the cheapest available spot of another one, and you do not have to pay. So, I did not have to move my cheapest one, I just moved any of them, but where it goes, it must land on the least expensive. So there we are, and now we move up and get a stone right there, and we don't have to pay for that. Now, before I go any further, I haven't done this yet, and I need to do that. There are no green cards over here. So everyone turns in their green cards. You shuffle them up. And I'm trying to not remember. I don't think I did. So I'm going to flip them over and take whatever's on top. And I got this one back. But we just stole 2 points from the yellow player for the moment. So that worked out really well for the blue player. Over to the yellow player. Now they have some resources over there. They have one of everything. That would let them move a character, which is not huge for them. That would get them, they don't have any other bells. That'd be a point for the bells. Point for that. Yeah, I think they're just going to do that. So they get all of their cards back. They will then play this one to get the first card for free. Slide the market down. Oh, I thought I shuffled good, but apparently not. I've got all of the parks and stuff right there together. Okay. Over to red. Now they have some money and no cards. Not a lot of resources, but they can now use the cheapest resource gatherer to go to any place. So now they'll just go right over here to the stone and pay 1 coin. Back to the blue player, moving right along. They really do need a brick because I don't think they want to go all the way. They could go up there. They can get money pretty easily, so let's go ahead and do that. They will play this card. Now if you notice, it's broken up into 4 and 2, so the last 2 cards cost 1 coin and 2 coins respectively. So 1 coin and 2 coin, and they're going to take this and pay the 1 coin, and then that will immediately come available. And ooh, look, there's a fountain. That's pretty cool looking. Nice little artwork. Lots of repeats, but it's still nice. Yellow player. They surely can build this now. So they will pay 1 wood, 1 brick, 1 crystal. Now this says they are going to get, at the end of the game, quick little cheat sheet here at the end, 1 point for each card present in the row. So that's simple enough. So they want it in one of the longer rows, of course. So let's go ahead and put that there. They already have several people there, plus it will get another point for this card that they have. Boom. They can get the top bale. This is worth 7 points at the end of the game, as long as you do not send a worker to the middle of the board. See, if you do that, you lose the bonus points. But you have to have this card at the end of the game. But if you send someone to the square to set up shop, it's worth 4 points at the end. So it's a little bit of a gamble there. And you simply use this by saying, hey, I have a stone, I'll spin that stone to set up a stone shop. That is how that works. So they've acquired this, now they get to move one of their pieces if they want. Well, they can already pay for things cheap, so they're not worried about moving. Yeah. Now they can move again, doesn't do any good, so that will be the end of their turn. Over to the red player, who's starting to acquire some goods. Do they have what they need? Nope, because I think we took the card that they were hoping to get. That's a shame. But they do need some brick now. So let's go ahead and send this guy over here for free. Back to the blue player, who is now going to build the little gardens. Now the way this works, there are no roads going in and out, but you'll get 3 points for all the cards that are adjacent to it. So unfortunately, going here, we're restricting the number of points we can get, but the only other place we could go would be here. And then this is not a guarantee because you have a road here. This may limit what people would put there. I could go right here. So let's go ahead and do this because that is only 1 away from being at least another 3 cards there. Wood, stone, and the crystals. There we are. And we immediately get a brick resource for free. Over to the yellow player. They need to get a card here, but they also need to get cards here. And there is a bale card there that they really like. So before they let that slip away, they're going to get the second card in the market for free, placing it in front of them. And we got this nice purple build. Nothing. That's a different design. That's the first of that design we've seen. Red player has one of each resource. What do they want to build? They're going to take the second card, which they can easily pay for on their next turn, and slide those down. What is the blue player going to do? Well, they have a brick. They really need crystal. Everything needs crystal just about. So I think they're just going to have to start gathering resources. Let's go ahead and get that cheap wood before anyone else gets there. And the yellow player, seeing that they did that, is actually going to hold off for a second and do the same and grab that free crystal, just to block anyone else from being able to do that. The red player, well, what are they going to do? They're not going to wait. They're going to go ahead and build. And they can build right there, which is pretty nice. So, 1 wood and 1 crystal. They get 2 time on the supply. So what does that mean? Well, right here. You may place 1 worker from your supply onto the cheapest available slot of a resource you already own. You do not have to pay. Well, let's just go. Yeah, lots of brick. So let's go there. Which that does seem kind of strange. Double 1 resource. You may place 1 worker from your supply onto the cheapest available slot. Should be 2. Double the resource. Anyway, I guess it's a little less limiting, a little more limiting that you have to go somewhere you're already at, but that's okay. It works out. Going here, we get the green, so he will get the tax collector, and then going up, we will get 1 coin. Over to the blue player, who has wood and brick, really needs to get some crystal, only has 1 coin, so using the special ability, they will take 1, 2, 3 coins. Yellow player, they need brick now. So they will play this, and for 1 less, and the tax collector will say thank you. Over to the red player. 2 brick and a stone, but they're going to need crystal and they're going to need wood. Let's go ahead and, since this card will let them go ahead and do the crystal, place a worker there for 1 coin. They do not gain it because it says when another player. So, will blue have, no, first they get these back. Now they can go get crystal, and they have plenty of money to pay for that, and the tax collector will again say thank you for the free coin. Yellow, do they have what they need? Yep, I think they got it now. So let's figure out where they want to build this. Well, they can't build it in any of the places that they want. They would have to build it way down here, which is, I guess, what they'll have to do. So we go here for 1 brick, 1 stone, 1 crystal, and they can gain that and get a worker on the wood. And this will be 2 points for that card, and then 1 point at the end of the game for each bell icon city that they have. And since they built a bell, they get this guy, the lamplighter, who now, even cards that are adjacent without a road still provide their resource benefit. So that's pretty nice. Now that the 2 yellows are out, they realize they probably will end up losing one of these. So they're going to go ahead and now use this special ability, spin that free wood, and set up that wood shop. So this is no longer worth 7 points for them at the end of the game, but they do have a guaranteed 4 points. All right, over to the red player. So they are going to retrieve their cards. They're going to go get wood and pay 1 coin. And I'm somehow getting some of these upside down. Blue. What do they want to do? Wood, brick, and gems. They have that. They will take this, the second card, slide it down. There we go. Yellow no longer has any resources, so let's gather up and let's start getting some resources. So the stone has a free spot. Let's steal it before anyone else. We don't have to worry about the no pay rule. Red, well, they got lucky. We took the card they wanted, but the card that slid into the same spot is the same exact card with the same cost requirements. There they go. All right. Now, the blue player, they are going to build another park next to the other park. There we are. They can move, but they don't have, and then they can get, nope, they cannot get the stone. So that's all for them. Really sorry about the focus. It did not want to focus well. That is better. I know it's far away, but that does look better. The yellow player is going to continue to get those free resources so that other players cannot. They'll get that one. Red, they are going to build their gardens, but they're going to place it right here. So do they have a wood and a stone and a crystal? Yes, they do. There we are. And they can get a free stone right there. Blue player, they are going to go ahead before anyone else does and snag up that card. There we are. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yellow player, they don't have, let's go ahead and get a free brick. They don't have a building at the moment, and I don't know if they're really going for a plant. They need it brick and wood, or here they need it wood. Should they go for the wood? And they need something with a road here. So let's go ahead and get them over here on the crystal space. Blue player, they need wood and, I'm sorry, brick and crystal. So let's go ahead and get them on the brick. They will pay, and then that will come over here to the tax collector. Yellow, do they have a plan yet? Well, I think they are going to go ahead and grab this fountain to try and speed along the end of the game, which is upsetting for the blue player because that is what they are trying to do, but they are 1 resource away and they would need a little bit of luck. All right, red player. Brick, stone, gem. They don't have wood. Brick and stone and gem. They would have to pay 2 coins for that to pick up that garden, and I don't know that that garden is going to do them much good unless they set it there. So they will have to go ahead and do that. By taking this, it will cost them 2 coins, 1, 2. Over to the blue player, who still needs a brick. So they will gather these up. And no, they need a crystal, I'm sorry. So they go there. And this goes here, goes to the tax collector. Now over to the yellow player, who has a stone, check, and a crystal, check. This will go right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 players on the board. That is the end of the game immediately. It does say that the game immediately ends, so the red player wouldn't even get their extra turn. Although, could they? Yes, they could have built this, and that would be worth some points. So we'll tally up the points as is, and then we'll tally up the points if they got to take an equal number of turns. The blue player was hoping to build this, which would be yellow, which the yellow player just did. So shuffle these up. And would the blue player have gotten lucky? No, they wanted this one so that they could put a person in the square and have 6 out. 5, 6. But they didn't get there. And this one comes back to the yellow player. And they get a free wood, so we'll go there. Then they come over here and they get a free coin. And that is it. And I do want to double check right here. After a player places his 6th worker in the city, he finishes his turn. Then the game ends. So that doesn't say equal number of turns, and it doesn't say this is part of the city, and they are in the city working, so I'm saying that counts. So let's tally up the scores. Let's start with the blue player. They're going to get 3 points here. And then 3 for all the cards adjacent. So 3, 6, and this 9. And then this one will get them 3. So 9 plus 3 would be 12 for those two. I'm going to slide these down to the corner. And then this one's worth 3. And then 1 for each diamond. 1, 2. 1 for each diamond. 1, 2. And it says right here, one point for each diamond card present in the city, if any. So it could be anywhere in the city. And here's another one, 3. So they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So they'll get 6. There we are. So that's all of the points here for blue. Let's go to yellow. So they will start with 4. Then they're going to get 1 there, plus 1 for any adjacent, so that's 2. Then they get points on the shields by adjacent, so 4, 7, and 3 is 10. Ouch, that was a big one. Here, they only get 3 and 2 for 5. Then here they're going to get 2. Plus 1 for each card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 more there. And then here they're going to get 2. And then 1 for the bell symbol. 1 point for each card of the indicated guild present in the city. So you don't necessarily have to own them. Let's see if I can get that into focus. Sorry, bear with me for a moment. The indicated guild present in the city. And the card itself counts as 1. So you don't have to own it. It just has to be present. So they're going to get 1 for each bell. So there's 1, 2, 3. Although they did own all of them. That's all the points here for yellow, but that was quite a bit. That was good. So they get 3. Oh, and I found another gem, so blue's going to get 2 more points for that. Let me give them 2 more points for that. So they will get 1, 2, 3, 4. Here again, 3 plus 4. So let's make that 7. Here they will get 3. Nothing here because there's no shield icon. And 3. So they get 6. And then here they're going to get 3 times all the adjacent. Well, there's only 2. So that's just worth 6. And that is all of the points here for red. Then we will add up. Blue gets 4 for this. Yellow gets 6 for these guild leaders. And with 9, red gets those points for their guild leaders. So let's add those up. After adding up those scores, we have blue with 30, yellow with 39, and red with 35. So yellow would have won. As long as I didn't mess up any scoring here, then that is how that ends up. Now let's take a look. If red had gotten their extra turn, they could simply place this right there. This would get them 3 points. This would get them 3 more. That would be 6. And they would have 41, and they would have won if they got an even number of turns. And I think in the future I will play that way. You finish out the round. Not just the player's turn, but the round. Everybody gets an equal number of turns. Then the tiebreaker. Should there be a tie? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not quite done. Yellow has 2 workers on the worker board. So plus 2 for 41. Blue has 2, plus 2 for 32. And red has 1, 2, 3, 4 for 39. But they still would have won with the extra turn, I think. You take away 4, add 6. So give them 2. Ooh, it would have been tied. It would have been tied at that point. So let's see. 1 point for each worker on the resource board. Okay. Then we're looking at a possible tie. So if you look at the last line, the player achieving the highest score is the winner. In case of a tie, the tied player who triggered the end or is closest clockwise to the player who triggered the end wins. Which means that yellow still won, even with red getting an extra turn, because you subtract the 4 points. I'm sorry, no, 3 points. 3 points. Minus 3 points. Minus 3 points for the resources would be 36. Plus 6 would be 42. They would have won by 1 point. So, yeah. So, if you play by the rules of the... After a player places their 6th worker, they finish their turn, the game ends. I really don't like that. I think everyone should get a equal number of turns. So there's a full game. Let's do a quick what do I think. So what do I think? Well, you heard some of my comments. I would definitely play this in the future. 3 or 4 players, everybody gets equal number of turns. I don't know about 2 player if it'd be as bad, but yeah, definitely. I think from now on I'm just going to play it. Everyone gets an equal number of turns. Someone triggers the end of the game. They have the tiebreaker if it is a tie, but everyone gets an equal number of turns. I think the artwork is fine. I think it's good. It's the building kind of has a glow to it to let it stand out, and then the roads and the buildings on the sides are very distinguishable. All the icons are easy to read. I like the manual. Has all of the guild leaders and their abilities here, and you flip 1 page and it shows you what all the icon bonuses mean, and the end game scoring, so everything is quick to get to. Game's not hard, game's not too long. It's a great little filler. I like how the cards are two-sided, so they serve both functions, right? There are more leaders, like for instance this guy, the cheater. He's actually called the cheater. It says coin to build. So if you have some coins, like for instance the yellow player, you don't get to look first. You just randomly pick one. You say, boom. Now I've got this. Oh, look. That's just a two resource cost card. And then you get a free resource. So they could immediately, without having to waste their turn getting a card from the resource row, a building, they can just use his ability. So yeah, there's and of course there's one more from each guild. Let's see what they do real quick while we're here. So we have the builder. After another player builds a building, even during the last turn of the game, you can build too using the usual rules. So you'd still have to pay your resources, but you have to pay 2 coins to do it, and that's what this right here says. You can place a building down at the end of the game, pay the resources, and 2 coins. And he's worth 4 points at the end of the game. Then we have the mistress. You pay 1 coin less when you're recovering the worker cards. At the end of the game, the player that has this is 5. Now, I never did that in my game. I could see where it could be beneficial at times, especially if you've got like the tax collector and you're getting a lot of money. But basically the way it works is if you have none of the cards in your hand, they're all down on the table, you pull them back for free. This would cost you 1. This would cost you 2. And let's say you really needed to double up on crystal. It's the end of the game. You need crystals. So you play this. You need to get it back. You have 3 cards in hand. It's going to cost you 3 coins to get him back just to play this down to get another crystal. And then you'd have to pay whatever the cost is out there. So yeah, it can be expensive. So that's what she lets you pull the cards back for 1 less, which is not a big deal, especially the way I played it. Which I don't know if it's right or not. The best way you can see by the scores. So here we have Signor. Okay. You can obtain 2 resources of the same kind or different. Any 2 resources indicated on the played worker card. You have to pay for both. And these were 3 at the end of the game. So simply, this, you could place 2 workers down to get resources. And you could go 2 wood or brick and stone or 2 crystal, whatever. But you just have to pay the cost that of the spaces that they go to. But still, that lets you get an extra one pretty quick. And then here is the benefactor. You gain 1 coin at the beginning of each of your turns, and he's worth 3 at the end of the game. So, good variety. I like how with, say, the 2 and 3 player, not all of the cards will be out there. It'll be a little bit of a mystery. Although in the 3 player game, there wasn't a lot of fighting here. And you can see in the 2 player game, there's 1 less square everywhere. So it's the same kind of battle as in the 3 player game. But in a 4 player game, there's going to be a lot more people having to pay 2 coins. So this would get much tighter in a 4 player game. So it could drag the game out a little bit because you're going to spend more turns gathering coins so that you can pay. So it could drag the game out a little bit. But the game's pretty quick. And with 4 players, of course, you'd have all the guild leaders out. So, yeah, I think it could play a little differently with 4 players. But cool artwork. Not a lot of table space. It does take up a little table space once you build the city, especially in a 4 player game. Cards, they're a little flimsy, but they're not bad. Probably my biggest gripe is just the, I mean, I like the meeples and stuff, is just that this could have been half the size, but of course, it wouldn't, they need shelf space, they need it to look good, but you could have done one of those, like the original Citadels or Colossal Arena or something like that, one of those boxes, and it would have been just as fine. But that's my only real gripe. I think it's a great little filler. It reminds me a little bit of the Architects And I think I've got it sitting right there. Let me grab it. And I'm sorry, it's The Builders. And you can see this is a small box. It does not take up much. It is a 10, but everything fits in there nicely. And my daughter actually loves this game. In this game, you actually get 3 actions per turn. And what she likes is how the cards line up so you can see if you have the resources to build it. So a little bit different way to play it. But I think this is different enough. I like it. And I'm probably going to hold on to it for a while. I like the puzzly aspect of the city, because you might have the perfect building and somebody builds before you and they take the space that you needed, and now it's gotta wait. Gotta try to get something else, try to build a different building to get another guild leader. For such a quick, easy little game, it's got a lot of little nice choices, and I like it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and come back and see some more videos here at RatherBeBoardGaming. Bye.